Washington, as President Joe Biden is sending Vice President Kamala Harris to Poland and Romania next week to express support for NATO's eastern flank, even as the alliance has left Ukraine to do its own fighting against Russia after dangling before it a NATO membership, which an enraged Moscow saw as a provocation. Harris, who was in Munich for a security conference last month even as Russia was lining up troops to invade Ukraine, will return to Europe on Wednesday amid a full-blown invasion that has terrified countries formerly in the Soviet bloc. Sauli Niinisto, the president of Finland, which is not a NATO member, was among those who made a beeline for Washington last week, for talks on what the White House said was aimed at strengthening bilateral relations and ensuring strong defense and deterrence in Northern Europe. The White House said Biden also spoke to Poland's President Andrzej Duda to discuss our country's response, in close coordination with our allies and partners, to Russia's unprovoked and unjustified invasion of Ukraine, including ongoing efforts to impose severe consequences on Russia. Amid the flurry of consultations, the US and NATO have left it to Ukraine to do the fighting against Russia, rejecting Kyiv's request to impose a no-fly zone, which they fear will directly draw them into a firefight with Russia. Massive arms packages, including Stinger and Javelin missiles, and anti-tank rocket systems and grenade launchers are being rushed to Ukraine by America's NATO partners, even as there is growing concern in Washington about what could happen to these arms should Russia succeed in overrunning Ukraine in the near term. The long-term consequence should Ukraine hold out will be a Afghanistan-like quagmire for Russia, where the US will have a Pyrrhic victory, at great cost to the US taxpayer and the people of Russia, Ukraine and possibly Europe. Amid fervent debate in US policy circles on the outcome, Harris' troubleshooting trip to Europe next week is inviting derisive comments from the extreme right, which is quickly trying to cover up long years of cossying up to Putin's Russia. Kamala Harris has not succeeded in any of the tasks that have been assigned to her. Why are we sending her to Europe again next week? Asked Andy Biggs, a Republican lawmaker from Arizona. Please, for the love of God, send a serious person, tweeted Meghan McCain, a TV commentator and late Senator John McCain's daughter. The Vice President's visit will demonstrate the strength and unity of the NATO alliance and US support for NATO's eastern flank allies in the face of Russian aggression. It will also highlight our collective efforts to support the people of Ukraine, Harris' office said in a statement. In talks with leaders of Poland and Romania, Harris will discuss our continuing support for the people of Ukraine through security, economic, and humanitarian assistance, and our determination to impose severe economic consequences on Russia and those complicit in Russia's invasion, the statement said. Adblock test. Why?